Picture a volcano in your mind. Towering peaks, fiery rivers of molten rock, clouds of ash spewing into the sky. It's a scene that has become synonymous with destruction, and for good reason. Volcanoes are terrifying, powerful forces of nature. But what if I told you the most dangerous aspect of a volcano isn't even visible? There's a silent killer lurking in the shadows, one that doesn't need an eruption to bring devastation. It doesn't flow like lava or rain down like ash. It's invisible, it's odorless, and yet it's capable of wiping out entire communities. Volcanic gases. They are the quiet, unseen threat that can cause far-reaching consequences, sometimes even without a volcanic eruption. While lava and pyroclastic flows tend to steal the spotlight, it's the gases escaping from a volcano that pose a far more insidious danger. Over the course of this video, we'll dive deep into the hidden risks of volcanic gases, how they can strike without warning, and the ways in which they've claimed lives in some of the most devastating, yet lesser-known volcanic disasters in history. Ready to uncover the invisible threat? Let's dig in. When most people think of volcanoes, they picture eruptions, molten rock, ash clouds, and the roaring fury of nature. Lava flows, while deadly, are often more spectacular than dangerous in terms of their immediate impact. But volcanoes are not just about molten rock. They're also about gases, and these gases, often released from volcanoes even when they were not erupting, can cause death and destruction in ways that are far subtler, yet incredibly dangerous. Volcanic gases are a mixture of various elements and compounds released by a volcano. They primarily consist of water vapor, H2O, carbon dioxide, CO2, sulfur dioxide, SO2, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, and other trace gases like hydrogen chloride, HCl, and fluorine, HF. These gases come from deep within the Earth's mantle, and as magma rises to the surface, they escape through fissures, cracks, or vents. While some gases are released gently, others can escape violently during eruptions. However, even when a volcano isn't erupting, the slow release of gases can still pose a significant risk to nearby communities. Unlike lava, volcanic gases aren't as visually striking, and they don't get nearly as much media attention. However, they can be far more dangerous. Most gases released by volcanoes are either toxic or suffocating, and they can affect human health in subtle yet devastating ways. Carbon dioxide, for example, is heavier than air, meaning it can accumulate in low-lying areas and displace oxygen, leading to asphyxiation. Sulfur dioxide is another deadly culprit, as it can mix with moisture in the air to form sulfuric acid, which can cause severe respiratory issues when inhaled. Some volcanic gases, like hydrogen sulfide, have a strong, unpleasant odor that can serve as a warning. But others, like carbon dioxide, are odorless and colorless, making them even more insidious. To truly understand the potential devastation caused by volcanic gases, let's look at a few chilling examples from history. These aren't eruptions that made the headlines. Instead, they're disasters where the gas itself was the silent killer, striking without warning and, in some cases, without eruption at all. The Lake Nyos disaster in Cameroon is perhaps the most infamous example of a volcanic gas disaster. Located at the base of an active volcano, Lake Nyos had been quietly collecting carbon dioxide for years. In August 1986, the unthinkable happened. The lake suddenly released a massive cloud of CO2, which poured down into nearby villages and suffocated over 1,100 people in their sleep. This deadly release of gas is known as a limnic eruption, and it occurs when dissolved gases in the lake become unstable, causing them to be rapidly released. The CO2 cloud was so dense that it settled in low-lying areas, asphyxiating people, animals, and plants. The cause of the eruption was linked to volcanic activity beneath the lake, which caused the gas buildup in the water. The tragedy left the region reeling and led to the installation of degassing systems to prevent further releases. While most volcanic gas disasters are localized, the 1783 eruption of the Laki fissure in Iceland had far-reaching global consequences. This eruption released massive amounts of sulfur dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. The resulting sulfuric acid droplets combined with water vapor to form a thick haze known as the Laki haze, which spread across Europe and caused widespread crop failures, particularly in the UK and France. This climatic disruption, caused by volcanic gases, led to a severe famine that killed tens of thousands of people. While this event involved an eruption, the true devastation was due to the long-term effects of volcanic gases on the climate. The lingering atmospheric particles cooled the Earth and disrupted weather patterns for years. Volcanic fumaroles, vents where gases escape from the Earth, can also release deadly gases without an eruption. For instance, the gases that pour out of fumaroles at active volcanoes like Mount Vesuvius in Italy can pose a significant health risk to nearby populations. Fumaroles can release high concentrations of sulfur dioxide, which can cause severe respiratory issues and even death if inhaled over a prolonged period. You might be wondering, why don't we hear more about volcanic gases, especially given their potential for destruction? The truth is, they often fly under the radar for several reasons. First, they tend to escape slowly, sometimes without any dramatic events or eruptions. Second, the effects of volcanic gases can be subtle, making it difficult for authorities to recognize the danger before it's too late. When most people think of a volcano, they think of lava, fiery rivers of molten rock that flow down the mountainside, destroying everything in their path. While lava is incredibly destructive, it's relatively easy to see coming. Lava flows slowly, and in most cases, people have time to evacuate. Volcanic gases, on the other hand, can be invisible and odorless, sneaking up on communities before anyone realizes they're in danger. This makes volcanic gases the true silent killers. Carbon dioxide is one of the most dangerous volcanic gases, and yet it doesn't give off any signs of danger. Unlike sulfur dioxide, which has a pungent smell, CO2 is colorless and odorless, making it nearly impossible to detect without proper monitoring equipment. CO2 can accumulate in low-lying areas where it displaces oxygen, causing suffocation. In some cases, the only warning signs might be the sudden collapse of vegetation, as plants rely on oxygen to thrive. Unlike eruptions, which can often be forecast based on seismic activity, volcanic gas releases are much more difficult to predict. There are no obvious warning signs that a deadly gas cloud is about to be released, and even if there were, the gases can spread unpredictably, making it hard to evacuate in time. While scientists use monitoring stations to track gas levels, the unpredictability of gas releases means there's still a lot we don't understand about when and why they happen. While volcanic gases remain a silent killer, scientists and authorities are constantly improving their ability to detect and mitigate the risks they pose. Advances in technology have made it possible to monitor gas emissions from volcanoes in real time, and some proactive measures have been taken to reduce the potential for disasters. In many volcanic regions, scientists use real-time gas monitoring systems to track the release of sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and other gases. These systems use ground-based sensors, satellites, and even drones to monitor gas levels and detect changes that might indicate a dangerous release. By monitoring gas concentrations and analyzing trends, scientists can often provide early warnings to local authorities and residents. In areas with active volcanoes, governments have developed early warning systems to alert communities when gas levels become dangerous. For example, in regions like Hawaii and Indonesia, where volcanic gases are common, authorities have created evacuation plans that prioritize areas at risk of suffocation due to gas accumulation. In some areas, scientists have developed technology to reduce the risk of toxic gas buildups. For instance, in the case of Lake Nyos in Cameroon, engineers installed a degassing system to slowly release carbon dioxide from the lake, preventing another catastrophic gas release. Similar systems could potentially be used in other regions to prevent the dangerous accumulation of volcanic gases in lakes and other areas. While volcanic eruptions may steal the spotlight, it's the gases beneath the Earth's surface that truly pose the silent, invisible threat. From suffocating carbon dioxide clouds to the climate-altering effects of sulfur dioxide, volcanic gases can strike without warning, causing devastation in their wake. Understanding and monitoring these gases is crucial, not just for protecting communities near active volcanoes, but for safeguarding our planet from the often unseen dangers beneath. So next time you hear about a volcanic eruption, remember, the real killer might not be the lava, but the invisible gases lurking beneath.